What's going on, champs and champettes? It's FireMonkey here, and in today's YouTube video we have to talk about a weird thing going on with Fortnite. Now, this was something that I originally wasn't even intending to be today's video, but I was going into the Fortnite discovery section, going to the Buy Epic section, because there was a specific game mode that went live 3 days ago that I wanted to check out, which was OG 50v50. This was an LTM that had returned a while ago, a few months ago, but it lasted for like a week or two, a short amount of time before going away, and I like the old school style of 50v50, and with the most recent Fortnite update, there was another playlist here, in this empty section called OG 50v50 Zero Build. This was, like it says, a zero build version of OG 50v50, which was interesting to see them do. However, the odd thing about it was they didn't announce it, they didn't do anything like that. They just kind of like dropped it with the update, on the 29th, and they just called it a day there. And I went to go look for it today, like 3 days later from when it was originally enabled, and it's just not even here anymore, which makes me wonder, why would they go ahead and release an LTM and go ahead and, make it something that's enabled in the game, during a Star Wars season when we are having all these other modes doing their own things already, and then why would they make it a situation where it's like, oh, you want to go ahead and play that? Well, too bad, it's already gone. And some people might say, oh, it was just an issue, they had a small little oopsie here and there, so they had to disable the mode due to some issues that were going on internally, and that is not actually the case, because earlier that exact same day when 50v50 Zero Build got enabled, Epic Games' official Fortnite status account posted the following status on Twitter stating, "We're aware of an issue causing the first storm circle to shrink quicker than expected in OG 50v50 Zero Build. We're currently investigating and will provide an update once we have more information to share." And they did actually update that first storm circle to be a lot faster and make the game, or I guess a lot slower, whatever it might actually be, and make the game feel a lot more solid. However, after fixing that, you mean tell me that just like 1 to 2 days later, they're just going to decide, hey, you know what, 50v50 Zero Build, yeah, we only really announced this through a Fortnite status post about an issue with it. We never even made a mini announcement in the newsfeed or anything. We just kind of randomly enabled it just for the sake of enabling it. Yeah, we're just going to disable it now. It's like, why would you release an LTM that's supposed to be a variant of the original version that got released a while ago, that was hyped up, it was posted in the newsfeed, it had its own blog post and everything else, and then you're just going to revoke it from people before some people might have even had the chance to actually play it and experience it. Now, of course, we've had 50v50 return before, in the building enabled version, but they specifically made this zero build version and then just never decided to let it stay for more than like a weekend. And actually, it wasn't even really like a weekend, because if you think about it, the update came out, actually it was a weekend now I think about it, because the update came out on like a Friday, a Thursday, whatever it might be, and it just kind of makes little to no sense on why they would go ahead and like shadow drop an LTM and then remove that LTM before a lot of people even got to experience it. Because for example, with me, the only reason I found out 50v50 Zero Build was re-enabled or put in the game with the Zero Build version was because of the fact that I was looking at the game modes that were enabled in the game, trying to figure out what to play, and I saw one that I wasn't expecting to see in the Buy Epic section, which makes me wonder, what is Epic doing? Because we know Epic Games wants to do like 50 million permanent game modes. They want Fortnite to be a platform. Who knows, maybe later down the line they'll remove Fortnite from the actual name and it'll just be like the Unreal Engine platform or something like that. Who honestly knows how they're going to go about it all, but they're working on making so many permanent modes, and then they have these cooler limited time experiences like Zero Build for 50v50 that they did intend to put out. They did make public statements about, in terms of working on hotfixes or whatever, but then they just don't promote it at all, and it just kind of like dies out before anyone gets a chance to even use it. And I bet some people watching this video are probably like, what is he even talking about, when they clicked on it, because they didn't even realize this mode had gotten re-enabled or anything like that. And we look at other modes that exist in Fortnite, and you have stuff like Fortnite Party Royale, which still is enabled to this day and only gets around like 1,000 to 2,000 players concurrent at a single time. So it's interesting to see how those modes, even like Team Rumble, that mode is like technically dead in its own way. It's got like 2.8 thousand, 3,000 players on at like peak times, but then they'd go ahead and make these certain modes over here that they put some extra time into. They're a lot more modern, newer, whatever else, and I technically consider like 50v50 to be like the Team Rumble for Fortnite OG in a way. And then they just decide, yeah, you know what, we know we dropped it, we gave it for like a day or two, let's take it away before anyone really gets a chance to get too obsessed with it and enjoy it. And actually, I double checked real quickly here, and Team Rumble only gets around like 1.3 thousand players to 1.5 thousand players daily as a peak. Meanwhile, that whole entire OG 50v50 zero build LTM that they never really announced or anything except when we had the building enabled version had a higher peak average player count, but got removed way quicker than zero build. I mean, not zero build, but got removed way quicker than Team Rumble, which last peaked at 59,000 players 7 months ago. So who knows what Epic Games is doing internally, but I solved this randomly and I was like, you know what, 50v50 zero would be a nice way to, you know, play some official Fortnite while being able to get some nice background footage and yapping about whatever the topic I was going to talk about was. And then I saw that they decided, nope, FireMonkey, we know you wanted to actually play that mode, so we're going to remove it from you like last minute, right when you think you're going to have a fun time playing it. But, you know, I just kind of want to make a quick little video talking about the whole situation. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think about how Fortnite treats some of their LTMs that they kind of just like shadow drop and then get rid of so quickly when they intentionally shadow dropped it, and then they keep stuff like Party Royale still in existence when there's perfect alternatives that Epic Games themselves have already made that's in existence, like the Fortnite Jam stage for Fortnite Festival. Without further ado, however, I hope Chimps and Chimmets enjoyed today's YouTube video. Like the video if you liked it, dislike if you didn't like it, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow with another upload. So until then, peace out. Bye.